Hey gamers, and welcome back to today's tutorial, where we'll be taking this Chaos Dwarf wizard to the next level. So gather your paints and ready your brushes and join me on this journey. We're going to start highlighting all the red areas with pure red from Army Painter. Give the paint a good shake, ensure all the pigments are well mixed. You can thin the paint with a little bit of water or medium for a smoother application during the layering process. For the hat, I'm just going to be picking out all the centers of the red areas. And for all the clothes, I'm just going to pick out all the raised areas and edges. This will create a visual contrast between the shaded areas and the highlighted ones, adding depth to the miniature. To intensify the fury essence of our Chaos Dwarf wizard, we will create a vibrant highlight by mixing Army Painter's Pure Red and P3's Inferno Orange in a 50-50 ratio. This mixture will make the miniature shine brightly and catch everyone's eye. Before we proceed, ensure that the second highlight layer has dried. This will provide a stable base for our final highlight, ensuring a seamless transition and an impeccable finish. Load a small amount of P3 Inferno Orange onto the brush, and with careful precision apply this vibrant color on the edges of the cloth, focusing on areas that would catch the light. And for the hat, for the Chaos Dwarf wizard, apply the Inferno Orange to the inner center areas of the hat, where the light would hit the most intensely. This technique will create a focal point, drawing attention to the intricate details and adding an extra layer of visual interest. To start highlighting the gray areas, I'm going to be mixing in 3 parts Vallejo neutral gray and 1 part black ink from Vallejo. Mix thoroughly until they're both combined, and this mixture will serve as our highlight color, adding dimension and richness to the grey skin and the beard. The black ink is just used to darken down the neutral grey as it's a bit too bright. For Lamasu's body and face, the highlight layers will be on the raised areas of the skin, such as the cheekbones, forehead, the nose, and use deliberate brushstrokes, focusing on areas that would actually catch the light. And for the beard, carefully apply the mix to the individual strands if you can, emphasizing the texture and contours of the beard. And to achieve a more pronounced effect, apply subsequent layers to the areas that require additional emphasis, such as the highest points of the cheekbones and the most prominent strands of hair on the beard. With each layer, aim for a lighter tone, allowing for the color to blend seamlessly. Here I'm only using another drop of neutral gray to every mix I do. Now for the skin of the Chaos Dwarf Wizard. I'm going to be mixing a 50-50 Vallejo, Rose Brown and Skin Wash. This will be our highlight color, adding depth and warmth to the wizard's skin. Load your brush up and apply the first layer to the raised areas of the skin such as cheekbone, forehead, nose and other areas that will catch the light. And to achieve a richer and more pronounced effect, let's build up the highlight layers gradually, applying additional layers to the most noticeable areas of the skin by adding another drop of rose brown to the mix. With each layer, the skin tone will become brighter and more vibrant, adding depth and light to the miniature. Pay close attention to the natural contours and shadows of the face, as these will play a crucial role in creating a realistic and dynamic appearance. Remember, a gradual build-up of layers will enhance the overall realism of your model. Now for the seat cushions and the cloth at the back. I'm going to go back to my original color of Vallejo Blue Violet, and I'm going to highlight the raised areas and the noticeable folds of the seat cushion and cloth. Pay attention to the spots where the light would naturally hit, like the cushion edges and cloth creases. This will add depth and dimension to the cloth and seat cushions. Now to start highlighting all the bone details, I'm going to be using my Vallejo Iraqi sand. I'm going to apply this first layer highlight on the raised surfaces and edges of the teeth, hooves and claws. Focus on areas like the tip of the teeth and the curves of the hooves, and also the tip of the claws. Remember, as the brighter the highlight goes, the sharper those teeth and hooves will look. For the horns, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be creating a smooth transition from the lighter color at the tip of the horn to the darker shade at the base. I'm going to use a small amount of Skeleton Horde contrast paint, and I'm going to apply the first layer at the tip of the horn. When the first layer is dry, I'm going to apply subsequent layers further down the sections of the horn, blending it with the lighter tone from the previous step. Use gentle brush strokes and circular motion to achieve this seamless transition. And for the final shade, I'm going to be using Agric shade just for the very base of the horn, just to darken that area up. Now to start highlighting all the gold areas, I'm going to be using Games Workshop's Gehenna's Gold. With controlled brush strokes, focus on areas that the light would naturally hit, such as on the edges of all the ornamental details. This will create a visual contrast between the shaded areas and the highlighted ones, adding depth and bringing a luster to the miniature. And for the areas that require a bit of edge highlighting, thin down the gold slightly with water or medium for better control, and using a fine detail brush or any brush that has a fine tip, carefully trace along the edges of the gold details. Now to add some depth to the silver details. With Vallejo's Air Aluminium, I'm going to start highlighting all the raised surfaces of the silver details. I'm going to focus on areas that would catch the light, such as the edges of the scale mail and the ridges of the trim. This will make the silver details pop out and stand out from the rest of the model. Now for the base, which is the final thing I'm going to be doing. I've primed the base in black, and then I'm going to paint over it the entire base with neutral grey from Vallejo. Once the first layer has dried, I'm going to apply a wash of Agrex Earthshade, or a similar dark brown wash for this step. Apply the wash generously over the entire base, allowing it to flow into the recesses and crevices. The wash will settle into the cracks, giving the appearance of aged and weathered look. It will also darken the recesses, creating contrast and add realism to the base. Once the wash has dried, I'm going to come back with Vallejo Neutral Grey and dry brush it lightly and carefully over the base, focusing on raised areas and edges. This step will reintroduce the grey highlight, enhancing the weathering and the worn look of the stone. Be mindful of using a lighter touch during this stage to avoid overpowering the wash. The goal is to bring out the texture and detail of the base, giving it a realistic weathered appearance. Once the dry brush has dried, it's time to add a touch of realism with AK Interactive's Liquid Pigment's Light Rust Dust. Thin the pigment with odorless thinners to achieve a smooth consistency. Apply the thin pigment in selected areas of the base, such as the corners and edges, and areas prone to rust or weathering. The interactive pigment will adhere to the surface, creating an appearance of realistic rust and weathering. Thank you gamers for joining me on this chaotic and artistic journey as we've delved into the mesmerizing world of painting this Chaos Dwarf riding a fearsome Lamasu. None of this would be possible without the incredible support of each and every one of you, the viewers. Your unwavering enthusiasm and dedication to the wargaming community inspires me to continue creating content that helps you hone your craft and expand your artistic horizons. Thank you all for your likes, comments and shares, they mean the world to me. Remember, painting is not just a means to an end, but a captivating journey that allows us to channel our passion and immerse ourselves in the realms we adore. So as you embark on your painting endeavors, embrace the chaos, dare to push your boundaries, and let your creativity soar. Until we meet again, may your brushes be steady, your colors be vibrant, and your battles be epic. Thank you for being part of this incredible community. Stay inspired and keep painting.